Welcome to Asset Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television.
Hello and thanks for staying with us on Asset Television. Welcome to the news. I am Eugenia Solomon. The headlines. Nigeria's Senate President Godswill Akpabio assures Nigerians of better days ahead. EFCC summons Barbariski to prove bribery allegations. CBN Governor Cardoso says Dangote Petrol will moderate Nigeria's economy. The details. At the resumption of plenary on Tuesday after legislative break, Senate President Godswill Akpabio called for immediate and decisive action to address Nigeria's worsening economic conditions and rising insecurity. The resumption is coming at a critical moment as Nigerians continue to grapple with the effects of economic reforms and security challenges, with many looking up to the Senate for leadership for solutions. Akpabio delivered his welcome address to mark the end of the Senate's 2-month recess, emphasizing the Senate's responsibility in navigating the country through the difficult times. Akpabio acknowledged the growing hardship faced by Nigerians due to inflation, high living costs, and increasing security threats.
The return from the break, the legislative break, back to work is actually something we should regard as a vital undertaking, because our responsibilities as legislators transcend the boundaries of time and space. We all work around the clock. I've often reiterated that while the judiciary may stand as the last refuge of the common man, it is the legislature that embodies the first glimmer of hope for the common man. I believe if we, as the architects of our nation's destiny, can stem the tide when it rises and set ourselves with purpose, the executive arm will navigate with greater ease, and the judicial arm will ensure that the course defined by our collective will is adhered to. The very recent break was an opportunity for us to connect with the heartbeat of our constituents, instilling in them the belief that brighter days lie ahead. Therefore, many of us witnessed myriad of significant achievements and developments in all senatorial districts across the country, with senators traversing from length and breadth of their various constituencies. We remain resolute in our commitment to ensuring the development of our great nation. Very unfortunately, in the course of the break, this sad news of a very vibrant, distinguished colleague, a man who exuded so much candor, distinguished Senator Ifeanyi was broken. A monumental loss to this National Assembly, the Senate in particular, his family, the good people of Anambra State, and Nigeria as a whole. We therefore extend our heartfelt condolences to his family, his constituents, Anambra State, and indeed our dear nation. At the appropriate time, we'll do justice to his legacies by devoting more time in chambers to discuss the times and life of distinguished Senator Ifeanyi. However, in the face of rising economic pressures, our fellow citizens have been grappling with the harsh realities of inflation, soaring living costs, unpredictable market and economic indices. The challenges have tested the very fabric of our society, and we stand together to express our deepest empathy for every Nigerian who may be bearing the brunt of the current reforms as a result of the need to reposition the economic fortunes of our country and take us out of the doldrums and the messy situation we met when we assumed office in 2023. We want Nigerians to know that their struggles are not lost on this Senate. Our sacred duty as your earnest representatives remain to respond with the urgency and compassion that the current situation deserves. Amidst these trials, we have also seen commendable strides in various sectors from the executive arm of government, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Our agricultural initiatives are beginning to bear fruits. The strides made in infrastructure can be seen by all, even starting from the Federal Capital Territory. These glimmers of hope paved the way for a brighter future. The hard-won gains must not overshadow the pressing issues that still loom large before us. We must, as senators, prioritize the issues of security of our great nation, ensuring that every citizen can walk down any street in this country without fear.
Following the dismissal of the stay of execution against the reinstatement of Comrade Philip Shuaibu, the Edo State Deputy Governor, by the Federal High Court in Abuja, the media team of Shuaibu has called on Governor Godwin Obaseki to immediately comply with the court order. Justice James Omotosho dismissed the appeal brought by the Edo State Government and the State House of Assembly, reaffirming Shuaibu's position as a deputy governor and ordering the restoration of his salaries and allowances. In a statement issued by Robinson Okenoba, the media team urged Obaseki to respect the court's decision, calling for the governor to refrain from further undermining the office of the deputy governor and allow Shuaibu to reaffirm his office duties without obstruction. They also demand the immediate payment of the 200,000 naira fine imposed on the appellants for wasting the court's time. The media team praised Justice Omotosho for delivering a just and courageous judgment and extended their gratitude to Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun for reinstating Shuaibu's security details as ordered by the court earlier. The media team celebrated the ruling as a victory for democracy and thanked supporters for standing by Shuaibu. They reiterated their commitment to justice, fairness, and the constitutional principles that governed the state. The Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Shuaibu Yusho Ahmed, has urged the scheme's internal auditors to instill the culture of accountability in their official duties. In a statement signed by the Acting Director, Information and Public Relations, Caroline Embu, the DG through the Director of Procurement, Chris Jimba, disclosed this at the opening ceremony of the 2024 NYSC Internal Auditors Workshop with the theme, Enhancing Efficiency and Effectiveness of Financial Operations in the Internal Control System, the role of the Internal Auditor held in Abuja. He added that a weak internal control system could lead to severe consequences, including mismanagement of funds and financial losses due to lack of accountability. The Acting Director, Internal Audit, Dr. Levi Agim, in his welcome address said the workshop was a stepping stone towards strengthening the internal control system of the scheme in order to safeguard its financial resources. The Accountant General of the Federation, who was represented by the Director, Audit Monitoring, Chizea Peter, tasked the participants to promote professional ethics and self-confidence. Now the Nigerian Army has officially discharged Private Ruth Ogunleye after she accused senior officers of sexual harassment, with Colonel I.B. Abdul Karim at the center of the controversy. Ogunleye made the allegations public in January 2024 through her TikTok page, accusing Abdul Karim alongside Colonel G.S. Ogor and Brigadier General I.B. Sholebo of making her life unbearable. She specifically claimed that Abdul Karim repeatedly attempted to assault her, forced her out of her office, administered injections without her consent, and even confined her to a psychiatric hospital when she rejected his advances. The gravity of the accusations prompted the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, to initiate a full investigation. Now, the Executive Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukayode, has directed an immediate investigation into weighty bribery allegations made against some officers of the Commission by popular Nigerian social media personality Idris Okuneye, also known as Bob Risky. The allegations, which have gained widespread attention after going viral on social media, involved a claim that EFCC officers extorted the sum of 15 million naira from Okuneye. In a video circulated by activist Martins Vincent Ote, commonly referred to as Very Dark Man, Bobrisky alleged that the officers collected 15 million naira in exchange for dropping charges related to money laundering. The controversial figure, who had previously been convicted of fraud-related crimes, suggested that the bribe was paid to ensure that the investigation against him did not proceed. Responding swiftly to the public outcry, Olukoyede ordered the immediate formation of a special investigation team to critically examine the claims. In his statement, he emphasized that the EFCC was committed to maintaining its integrity and credibility. The Oyo State High Court sitting in Ibadan, the state capital, has sentenced 3 persons to death by hanging for the murder of Colonel Anthony Okeyi, the commandant of the Nigerian Army Secondary School in the Apata area of Ibadan. The 3 convicts sentenced to death by hanging September 24th are Agada Solomon, Taiwo Adeni, and Bibishoye Kendi. Justice Ezekiel Ajayi also sentenced the convicts to 14 years imprisonment each for the offenses of conspiracy and armed robbery. 6 defendants were arraigned in the case in 2016 on a 4-count charge bordering on conspiracy, murder, and armed robbery. The 3 other defendants, Ewere Andrew, Odubata Orozuazi, and Ephraim Obi, were discharged and acquitted. If you are just joining us, you are watching the news on Assets Television. We will be right back.
Welcome to Assets Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sport and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Assets Television. Welcome to
many thanks for staying tuned to Assets Television. Now the news continues. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says the lifting of petrol from the Dangote refinery in the Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos State will moderate transportation costs, thereby easing food prices in the country. CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso said this while presenting a communique from the Apex Bank's 297th Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Abuja. Cardoso said the petrol lifting from the Dangote refinery will also moderate foreign exchange demand pressures. Cardoso added that an assessment of the performance of Nigerians' financial institutions indicated that they are stable. On food inflation, Cardoso said the upside risks remained flooding hike in energy prices, scarcity of petrol, and most importantly, insecurity in farming communities. While the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS has called on member states to mainstream gender into their trade policies to achieve the objectives of the African continental trade. It's noted that until women who represent half of the sub-region population are fully integrated, the much-surged development may continue to be a mirage. ECOWAS Commissioner for Economic Affairs and Agriculture, Masanje Torelitse, made the plea at the opening of a regional meeting on trade and gender in Abuja. She said that promoting inclusive sub-regional trade by empowering women in the business was in line with regional approaches and guidelines as well as international best practices. Torelise, while describing international trade as a powerful driver for wealth creation and development, lamenting that, however, women representing about 50% of the global workforce is presently facing barriers to participate in it. Declaring the event open, Nigeria's Minister of Trade and Investment, Doris Uzoka Anite, represented by the Ministry's Director, Special Duties, Dr. Simon Ozomo, said mainstreaming gender in regional trade policies would lead to creating a prosperous and equitable trade. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has presented a fast cold chain equipment to the Kano State Primary Health Care Management Board. Presenting the items, Rahama Rihud Mohammed, Chief of UNICEF Kano Field Office, said the gesture would strengthen child health initiatives and boost the state's immunization coverage. The equipment includes 39 cold boxes, 1,420 vaccine carriers, 1,208 ice packs of 0.6 size and 1,704 ice packs of 0.3 size. He said the equipment would be distributed to all the health facilities in all the 484 wards in the 44 local government areas across the state. Rihud Mohammed noted that the equipment would further bridge the gap experienced by the health facility staff in the logistics of vaccines distribution. He called on all parents and caregivers to bring their children to be vaccinated against polio. Responding, the incident manager, Kano State Emergency Operation Center, the EOC, Dr. Abdullahi Ahmad, lauded the gesture, adding that it would help the state healthcare system to ensure the safety of keeping vaccines. Now the UN Subcommittee of Prevention, the UN Subcommittee on Prevention of Torture, SPT, has called for urgent measures to end the widespread torture and ill treatment of detainees in Nigeria following their second official visit to the country from 8th to 19th September 2024. The delegation aims to assess Nigeria's treatment of detained individuals and evaluate the country's progress in safeguarding the human rights of those deprived of liberty, particularly those through the establishment of a national preventive mechanism. Head of the SPT delegation, Shujune Mohammed, expressed disappointment over the lack of cooperation from Nigerian authorities during and before the visit. Despite meeting with senior officials including the Minister of Justice, parliamentarians, judges, prosecutors, civil society organizations, and UN agencies, the delegation emphasized that Nigeria has failed to establish a functional NPM, which is crucial to preventing torture and ill treatment. On behalf of the news crew, I am Eugenia Solomon, thanking you all for listening. Join us tomorrow for more updates.
Welcome to Ascent Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Access Television.